Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we're going to be jumping into some new information we have about Season 8 directly from the developers, and we are also going to be having a look at some other things that they said in the latest community update. Now, if any of that is something that you guys are interested in, make sure you keep watching for the rest of the video. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, the first thing we need to talk about here is the confirmation of Tractors in Season 8. Now, they begin by saying a new season is in sight. That's right, runners, the Year 2 Pass is reaching its conclusion with Season 8. Our teams are fully focused on it to bring some exclusive new content to SnowRunner. This new season will be focused around a brand new theme never seen before in the SnowRunner franchise: farming. As you can expect, a new season means new vehicles. To help you complete your tasks, you'll be behind the wheel of powerful and mighty tractors. Now, they made it clear that that was tractors plural, not just one tractor. They continue on with a small photo that says big wheels for big duties, and they continue to say, and there's more. We've seen your feedback on Season 7 and your criticisms that the season only has one map. Rest assured, Season 8 packs up a total of 4 maps located in a brand new region. Each map is 4 kilometers squared in size, and there'll be plenty of exploration to discover all the secrets and details of the maps. More info on Season 8 will be disclosed soon. Make sure to follow us on our social media channels. Now, let's dive a little bit more into some of the things that were said there. For one, the photo that they showed didn't really give us a lot of information based around the photo itself. However, the file name of the photo tells a much deeper story, with the name of that file being Lamborghini Tractor That Goes Brr.png. This is the actual file name that you can download from their website, I might add, Focus Forums. You can download this exact file, and that is the file name that the file will save as on your PC. It's wild, right? Now, whether or not that actually confirms Lamborghini Tractors or if it's just kind of them messing with us remains to be determined, but I would venture on kind of the side of it probably meaning that Lamborghini Tractors are in the game. I mean, why else would they make that the file name? Now, with the photo itself being of what looks like a pretty new tractor, could that mean that the Mach VRT, the Lamborghini Mach VRT series, is coming to SnowRunner? Only time will tell, because we'll have to wait for more information from the developers in their official announcements. But let me know how you guys feel in the comment section down below about the fact that we're apparently going to be getting a Lamborghini tractor, or maybe even multiple Lamborghini tractors in SnowRunner, because that would be insane if Lamborghini ended up in SnowRunner as a licensed vehicle brand. That would be absolutely mind-blowing. But now we need to talk about something that I was a little bit iffy about in this update, and that was the fact that they didn't make any mention of Switch mods they didn't give any update about Switch mods. They didn't really include anything about Switch mods in this community update. Now, keep in mind, I go back to the fact that originally Switch mods were supposed to be included with the release of Season 7, which was now almost 2 months ago. And even now, all that we've heard really from anyone in and around the development team is that they don't know when Switch mods are going to be happening. Now, I can understand how that can feel like a big blow to the Switch part of this community, and I completely and honestly agree with you guys on that. I would really like to know more. I would really like to know why we haven't heard anything. I would like to know if they're still being worked on. Like, are they still a priority? Are they still something that is at the forefront of the game? I mean, they are continuing to approve mods for Switch. If you go on mod.io and you sort SnowRunner mods by Nintendo Switch, there are 271 mods approved for the Nintendo Switch platform, and yet we still have not heard anything else from the developers aside from we don't know when that's going to happen, which is insane to me. It really is crazy that Switch mods were announced in this big fashion. There was this big show almost that was made about Switch mods becoming a thing, and then it was almost like they kind of dropped the subject and were like, well, we don't know when that's gonna happen. And it's almost like in my head I'm like, does that mean you're gonna do it? Does that mean you're not gonna do it? I don't know. Like, if they want to be transparent with the community, I feel like it would be really nice to get some more in-depth updates on, like, hey, we're working on Switch mods, we're having this issue and this issue and this issue, but we're hoping to address those soon. Even if they didn't give any timeline, it would be nice to know the issues that they were facing and the progress that was or wasn't being made, so we as a community can understand what to expect. Now, circling back around to the topic of farming in Season 8, while I'm excited to see the SnowRunner take on farming, it is very interesting to me that SnowRunner is getting into that farming space and is going to be introducing farming elements into the game when we have Farming Simulator 22 as a title that is absolutely huge, and there's a massive community behind it. The Farming Simulator community is very strong, and so I don't necessarily think that they're trying to go after that community, but rather give farming elements or the option of farming to people that are within the SnowRunner community or maybe haven't made the jump over to Farming Simulator, because I feel as though the Farming Simulator series is why a lot of games haven't really dived too deep into that category of farm simulation gaming. And because Farming Simulator is a giant at this point, it's one of the, if you want to call it a titan of the industry, it essentially is, because there really aren't any other games that you can find that will give you all of the elements that Farming Simulator does. However, SnowRunner gives you an element of gameplay that Farming Simulator has never given you, and that is the incredible terrain deformation system that I believe remains the most interesting feature of the Spintires, MudRunner, and SnowRunner franchise, and has remained its most interesting feature over the course of the series. So will it feel like Farming Simulator but with deformable terrain? Will it feel like something else? Will it feel like SnowRunner but with a couple of little tiny, bits of farming elements sprinkled here and there throughout the gameplay? I'm really not sure, and I'm trying to figure out what my expectations for Season 8 should be, because up until this point, I feel like it has been pretty simple to determine your expectations for a upcoming, season of DLC, right, with the game, because we have a pretty good idea on what the framework is going to look like. It's going to be, maybe a new gameplay mechanic here and there, but mostly deliveries, scouting, gameplay dynamics like that. But with farming, it adds a whole new element to it, because, some of the questions that I ask myself are, well, if farming is going to be an element, will land ownership then be an element? Will ownership of property on a map, different pieces of land, will that play a role in gameplay? Will that play a role in what spaces you can farm? I mean, it does in Farming Simulator, right? Because you can't farm areas that you don't own, you can't cut down trees that you don't have access to the land underneath. So there's a lot of different elements that I think go into making a farming dynamic workable, and also making a farming dynamic interesting for people that have had experience with games like Farming Simulator over the years. Now, personally, I think that one of the features that I would have really liked to see in one of these Year 2 phases would have been, chainsaws and the ability to cut down trees, because I feel like that would have integrated so nicely into the logging dynamic that SnowRunner already has, because logging as a gameplay dynamic in this game has a really large following. There are a lot of people that play this game almost dedicatedly for the logging dynamics, and that was what, MudRunner made its big name on, was the logging, with all the logging equipment, but you never had the ability to cut down the trees themselves. And I feel like if they had introduced that into the game as opposed to farming, I feel like they might have been able to take a bit more advantage of what they already had, rather than trying to introduce a completely foreign concept into the framework of a game that is already established. So that's not to say that I'm not excited for farming, but I really don't know where I should place my expectations, and so I can't necessarily say, well, I'm really excited for this and then this, because I have an idea of how they're going to pull that off, but I really don't have an idea of how they're going to pull this off, because we've never seen how a farming dynamic would look or how it would play in a game like this. They could do it really, really well, or they could do it in such a way that we might play it for 5 minutes and look at it and go, wow, that was weird, and then we go back to playing SnowRunner as we always have. So I'm really hoping, for the sake of, the game's replayability and the sake of the community, I'm really hoping that they do a good job. I'm really hoping that they put a lot of time and effort into these new gameplay dynamics and making them feel fresh, making them feel new. And also, when you think about adding new gameplay dynamics like farming to SnowRunner, Think about what that does for the map modding landscape, right? All the people that create maps, like for example, the map that I'm on right now, was made by a creator called Dubs, and obviously he puts so much time and effort into the landscapes, so much time and effort into the road network, the jobs, all of the different things around the map. But when you add a gameplay dynamic like farming, that adds a massive new amount of basically possibilities for every single map mod creator out there in this game's ecosystem. So, because the modding community around this game is absolutely enormous. Now, with that, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below what you are most excited to see as we move closer and closer to Season 8, and rest assured, we will be checking out the public test server when it becomes available for Season 8, and hopefully it does become available for Season 8 at some point. But once again, if there's anything else that you would like to see, leave those thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Talk to you all later.